All right, Sean, in today's video, let's talk about how the trail arm, your right arm, in your case, because you're right-handed.
Yes.
How that right arm, that trail arm works in the golf swing relative to what we see the pros do, and then compare that to what we see most amateur golfers do. And when I say most, I mean nearly all.
Nice.
We see it all the time. So we're gonna show you how to pick up some more distance, more speed, more compression, right? More consistency by working this trail arm, your right arm, better throughout the golf swing. All right, so what we're gonna have Sean do is hit a couple shots for us. And you're gonna hit one like we see really every day on the lesson tee. And then we're gonna have him come back, and that, again, we're not talking about 30 handicappers, 25 handicappers. We see these same right arm movements all the way down to scratch golfers through the entire handicap range. So we're gonna show you what that looks like, then we're gonna make a pro swing, show you what that looks like, and then really compare the differences and talk about what you did to make the two different swings.
Okay.
All right, so let me get out of the way. Let's get a swing or two captured here. So this will be our AM swing first. Let me get you triggered here.
Yep. Find the ball.
All right, here we go.
AM swing, ready?
Yep. Okay, we got a clean capture.
Good.
Do you got another ball on you?
I do.
All right, let's go pro swing. Oh, hold on one second. There we go.
Okay, here we go. Make a couple adjustments in my right arm here. You ready?
Yep. All right, good. So we're gonna pull this up. We're gonna be right back in just a second and talk about the differences we see in this these two swings. All right, Sean, so we're looking at those two swings. We've got the amateur swing is on the right in blue, the professional swing on the left in the yellow. So right off the bat, what are some of the key differences here we see?
So this is what we've seen over the years. We've captured a lot of swings. Pros and amateurs, tour players, all the way up to 30 handicappers. And one of the key differentiators in the right arm is it starts right away at address. The higher handicap players set up with their right arm really locked. And on this one here, it was 6 degrees, right? And the pro has 17 degrees. So the pro has a lot softer right arm address than the average amateur who tends to lock it out this way.
More than double, right?
Yeah, because they think they're about to get width, and maybe that's they think they're going to get power from.
Well, it goes back to what we see a lot of time, like golfers try to get an impact and try to kind of hold those angles to get to impact, especially with lag and shaft lean. The same thing is true, like we hear width in the golf swing, so they'll start, I'm going to be wide at the top of this right arm, trying to keep it, and then it's going to just collapse on them.
100%.
Opposites. So you're going to see a lot of opposites here. Pros over here, and then 180 degrees the opposite direction is going to be a lot of this amateur movement.
Exactly right. This is one of the things we see, that they move in completely opposite ways, the high-level players versus the
and a lot of it's intent.
Yeah.
There's not going to be, the same guy did both of these, there's not going to be a physical limitation keeping you from doing this. That's exactly right. So let's roll them back to now. So we saw the big difference at start. So let's roll them back to kind of this left arm parallel spot. Right there.
Okay.
And we'll look from behind. I think it's a good view. All right, so now what are we seeing difference-wise?
So you can see there, if we look at the right elbow now, the amateur swing, or the higher handicapper swing, had 55 degrees of right elbow bend at this point, where the pro swings, and what we a lot of times will see, had way less, 20 degrees less. In that swing, I had 34. So I started with, on the pro swing, I started with more bend and kept it pretty wide going back, and the amateur moved completely opposite. They started straight and started bending. And a couple things start happening when you do that. We're going to see more of that as we get into the top of the swing.
And one of those that was already starting to show up is when this right arm starts to bend too early or bend too much, we see it shuts rotation down.
Turns the body off.
And it starts to pull the body to the arm, right? So it's hard to isolate these movements in the golf swing without them creeping into other movements.
That's right.
And you're going to see that right here. So if we look at these two swings from above, really going to start to see a difference now with rotation. And we get golfers coming in all the time, especially if you're a senior golfer, right? Coming in, I need more rotation, I'm not rotating enough. And a lot of it's because you're trying to get to the top by getting the hands in a top of the backswing position, which shuts down the rotation compared to getting the body turning and allowing yourself to get this width. Because we change golfers who say they can't rotate
all the time
with this concept.
Yeah, this right arm is massively important to get correct. And you can see some of the rotational
So again, now our amateur has switched sides of the screen. He's still in blue, pro is still in yellow, but you can see here the shoulder line, that's this SH number, compared to the pro at the same spot in the swing.
Yeah, so I've cranked my body around more because my right arm is straighter. I'm almost forced to use these big muscles in my trunk and torso to start to move the club up to the top.
And it's that kind of idea of when you start bending these arms, the chest wants to kind of move into it, which kills rotation. You see the start of it here. Now as we go, I think this is probably easiest to see from face on. So as we start to go to the top of the swing now, you can see how the virtual spine number, that SP number, for the blue golfer, the amateur, really starts to move away from the target.
Yeah, and at a point where it really should start going back towards the target.
So let's get both of them at the top here.
There you go.
Okay, right there, both are at the top.
There we go.
See about a 6-degree difference. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you do a 6-degree difference in club path, that's a completely different golf shot. So 6 degrees in the golf swing is a lot.
As far as the virtual spine? Yeah, so what Mike is saying there, the more I bent my right arm as an amateur golfer, the more my spine leans to the right and it turns off my rotation.
We really don't see golfers bend this right arm a lot and go the opposite way because it's so unplayable.
Yeah, so the AM is here. The pro, if you can imagine, I pushed my right arm away from me and stretched my right shoulder behind me. That's what you'd like to do. You'd like to be fairly vertical here with the spine.
It's actually a good drill to do for this is a wall.
Yeah, I can push on that wall and get this old Butch Harmon drill pushing on the wall.
Rather than let yourself move into the
wall. So again, right arm, just for right arms discussion, the AM 115 degrees, so he kept bending it, and the pro 68 degrees.
Yeah.
So he maintained a lot of width.
Your eyes are about as good as mine.
Yeah, 60,
say 70 degrees,
yeah,
69.9.
70 degrees, and you can see how much more rotation the pro has. Shoulder line turned 112, rib cage is in like the 83 range. On the AM, 97 shoulders, 76. So this piece here that is vitally important to turn, this rib cage area.
Rib cage 76 on the AM.
Yeah, 76 versus what, 83 on the pro. Yeah. So I'm able, because I'm keeping this right arm straight, I'm able to turn more with both the rib cage and get the shoulders around.
Again, it's that push.
More.
If you were pushing on this wall, that's going to help you open up.
Exactly.
Right? You don't need flexibility to open up. You need to move the other parts of the swing to allow you to open
That's a huge part of it, right?
Yep. And what you can see here is their hands are similar at the top, but you can see a much difference in the club, a much difference in how the left arm starts working now.
In the bodies.
Because it's much harder to bend this right arm crazy and not have this left arm start to act up.
So if a lot of you have bent left arms, pushing the right arm away, we'll clean that up a lot.
That's exactly right. And we're looking at, I'm not sure we've ever captured a pro who's past this 90-degree bend with their arm. We don't see them into the hundreds.
No.
We see them usually a lot less than 70. And then we see tons of AMs. We've seen, I think, up to 130. So if you're getting that arm bent back on you, there's not enough time in the downswing to get it off of you.
No, and you're going to have the struggles with these hangbacks and tilts.
So let's start now to kind of roll ourselves down here through this left arm parallel in the downswing.
Again, like Mike said, there's only a quarter of a second here. There's not enough time to get rid of it. So the AM still has over 100, more than what the pro had at the top. As the pro comes down, he starts to...
He's right back at 70 where he was in the backswing.
Yeah, kind of starts to go, either holds it or widens it, right?
That's exactly right. You see the difference in spine angle, you see the difference in rotation, all of those things are to the detriment. It's that amateur golfer now, he went from wide setup to narrow, now he's going to go wide too early.
Widen it out, yeah.
And if you're trying to go wide to narrow, like a lot of golfers I think are trying to go here, this narrow move, that's a killer for the golf swing. You really want to change the idea of that. We don't see the best players in the world do it. We see them stay wide on the downswing.
Yeah, they may widen a little or hold, but we don't see any of them jamming this in, and then they start to get rid of it down in this delivery area.
That's exactly right. Nobody planes it better than them. Nobody moves the club better than them. This is a killer move in the golf swing.
And most of the time, when the amateur has this narrow and tilt, that's the guy who has the scoop.
That's 100% the guy that does that.
Yeah, almost all the time. So if you're one of these guys that has this big scoop at the bottom, right?
Where your hands are kind of back around more around your back leg than the front leg at impact.
This may be something you want to look at. So what you have to do in the golf swing, right, a lot of times it's not what you think it is. It's not just trying to stick your hands in the right place. If you don't have the correct amount of width in this right arm coming down, you're gonna have a very difficult time getting the club in the delivery position in the right place. So
that's exactly right. And a great way to look at this when you film your swing is film it from behind.
Yeah.
You can really see how this right arm bends. Let's keep that in mind, and we're gonna come back with a drill to kind of help you put this into practice. All right, so a really good drill we use to help golfers feel this, and I think once you can start to feel the difference, you can really start to connect the dots, so the brain starts to connect the dots and you start making better downswings. So this drill is really simple. I'm big fans of simple drills. So what I'm gonna do is take your club and let's have you face the camera here and cross your arms, all right, and just make a backswing. So we're gonna isolate these movements. We're gonna get his torso and his shoulders turning without any distraction from his arms, all right? Do that a couple times. Really feel that stretch.
Feeling the wind up in
yeah,
the
that
core.
wind, all of that. All right, good. That feel nice and turned?
It does.
Okay. I'm gonna have Sean now extend his left arm out. He's gonna do it about opposite his shoulder here. Okay, now put your right hand there. Now you're just gonna hold the club.
Yeah.
Right. Now he's got
spot.
way less than 90 degrees here. And then from here, we wanna see you make a downswing. You can do it without a ball.
Yeah.
Right? At first, please do it without a ball.
Get the feeling for it starting.
But you need to know what it's like to make downswings without this big rebound move.
Exactly.
Because if you're getting this arm collapsed, you're going to rebound it. And again, that's when you get all the scoopies down at the bottom.
Yeah, and again, when you go out and try this on a range as well, make sure your right arm isn't locked out. Just a little bit of softness in the right arm when you start hitting balls. Feel it wider as you go to the top. And this drill Mike just gave you, where you turn left arm out here, will give you a sense of where it needs to be. You start to blend those together and you're gonna have some success.
That's right. If you do this correctly here, nobody's gonna do this with their arm.
Nope.
If your arm may only be here, it may only be here, whatever it is,
that's your
get
back
in the habit of right here. Putting your arm here and then doing this is gonna get you in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah.
So give that simple drill a try. Film yourself doing that drill so you can start to see the differences and kind of get that picture in your brain of what the downswing needs to start from, the area the downswing needs to start from, so you can really start to improve not only your distance, but your accuracy as well.
If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Also, if you have a question about the video or there's a topic you want us to cover in a future video, leave it down in the comments below. We read every single comment and we respond to them, and that's how we create new content for you in the future. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button so you know exactly when one of our new videos comes out. If you want more compression on your iron shots, more tour quality, solid iron shots every time you go out to play, we created a free video just for you. In the pinned comment below, you're gonna find a link. Click on the link, gonna be taken to another page. You're gonna enter your name and your email address. Once you do that, you're gonna be taken instantly to the free video training where you're gonna learn our #1 go-to drill to get more compression on your iron shots, which is gonna allow you to hit more greens and have more fun playing the game.